Tropical storm Rumbia continuing to pull off there towards the northwest, and this storm system, now just upgraded by the Japan Meteorological Agency to a tropical storm, is already causing problems across the Philippines. I mean, you just take a look at this cloud cover here on the satellite imagery, and it does indicate that there is going to be some heavy showers, and already schools closed across portions of Northern Mindanao. We have been seeing various reports of flooding there into Cagayan, and it does look like across portions of Leyte, Central Visayas, Southern Luzon, and yes, you there in the Manila metro area. This weekend is going to be wet and, well, very, very windy. We are seeing some wind reports actually along the southern periphery of this storm system due to ASCOT images indicating these winds already along the southern periphery of the storm system. These areas in the purples and the dark colors there, that's about 30 to 40 knots, some cases pushing 50 knots. So with that said, these wind barbs are already in place, and thus, well, the Japan Meteorological Agency upgrading this to a tropical storm. Now, microwave imagery as well, showing an organizing system near the center of circulation. You can really see it, that banding around the center here. Now, is that eye wall developing? Not quite. It is very absent in parts here along northern and southern periphery, some dry air inflow. But it does show that, well, overnight here on Friday into Saturday, we're already going to be expecting a landfalling system in and around Sumar, especially along the east coast of Sumar. This area is right in here. That band coming through. Do not be surprised here on Saturday. And if you are watching this on Saturday, go and check it out. I bet you there are risk, or there is going to be some reports of flooding and even landslides possibly out here, due to those severe and convective cells continuing to pop up. But as far as the center of circulation, well, here according to the GFS model, this is going through your Saturday, pushing over Sumar and eventually off there towards the northwest, moving across southern portions of Luzon. As it does this, though, that center circulation, it's going to remain over land. If it does skirt the coast here, remain over land, do expect it to go back down to a tropical depression. But maintaining just the overall convection nonetheless, because of the fact sea surface temperatures out here into the Pacific, into the Philippine Sea, across portions of its size, and even the South China Sea are bathwater. We're talking about temperatures between 28 to over 30 degrees. And that is why actually after the storm moves over Luzon here, JMA has it re-intensifying to a rather strong tropical system. Winds upwards about 50, gusting to about 65 knots. Those are typhoon equivalent winds, or typhoon strength winds. At least as far as the gusto once it goes out there into the South China Sea. And you can even see those wind gusts here along portions of Luzon, especially into some of these mountain passes where you get funneling pushing through. But what I want to talk about next is its impact onto, well, the Manila metro area. I know a lot of people are worried about that. Well, let's take a look at here at some of the model tracks. Now, this is a consensus. Most of them pulling it just north of Manila. That would be the good news. If it did come down here towards the south and put that right front quadrant on there, it would bring some gusty winds coming from the land. But unfortunately, in this track, after it pushes out there to sea, it's still going to enhance that monsoon, and wrapping around it, what we're going to be seeing are winds coming onshore from the west onshore into Manila. So let's take a look out here. Actually, I went a little bit too far. This is Saturday night. Storm system, according to the GFS model, making landfall due east of Manila here, right there in central Luzon. And like we said, we're going to be seeing some of these winds up there. The tropical storm strength in Polillo Island there, due east, and then it's going to push off there towards the west. Now, look at some of these totals. Oh, these are winds about 20 to 30 knots coming on shore. So Manila Bay, especially if these winds come in through the bay, through that channel there, past Corregidor, some of these waves really going to be kicking up there. So really around the immediate area there of the coast, I do think that there is the risk of some flooding, especially right near the coastline there. We're talking about around the Mall of America as well. After that storm system, well, off here now it's just north of Angeles City, continuing to spin up, and then it's going to push off there north of Subic Bay, but those winds continuing to come on shore, and you're going to be seeing that rainfall. Actually, let's take a look at the MSL at the same time here. Once that is just north of Manila. This is what I'm talking about here, that heavy precipitation, and there is going to be a serious risk of some flooding here, especially along the east coast of Luzon, landslides. I mean, this is indicating about 2 to 3 inches, so we're talking about over 200 millimeters of rainfall in just a few hours span. Now this is the latest track from JTWC as well, showing the storm system pulling off there towards the northwest. At least on Friday and Saturday, they do not have it at tropical storm intensity, but they expect it to intensify sometime by Saturday morning into a tropical storm before weakening back off, and then re-intensifying, like I said, up to about 50, gusting to 65 knots out here in the South China Sea. Hong Kong, watch out. Now JTWC, on the other hand, their long range, they typically, more often than not, point at big cities, especially ones that are military interest, and Hong Kong definitely falls under that as far as the Americans, so that's probably why they're pointing out there towards Hong Kong right now. But as far as this storm system pushing towards Hong Kong, that is still long range, and it's going to be into Monday and Tuesday of next week, so we have plenty of time to watch it. Really, we want to watch how much it gets disrupted due to the friction over the Philippines here in the next 24 to 48 hours, how it's going to look on the other side of the Philippines, and then how the whole steering setup is once it gets over there. We used our trusty streamline analysis at this time with that high pressure ridge and overhead off there towards the north. Just follow these arrows pushing off there just around Manila, moving off towards the north, and yeah, it does look like it would push in and around the Hong Kong area before, well, getting wrapped up with that jet stream and then shooting off there towards the northeast. So is that track logical though? Yes, very well possible, but for now, definitely guaranteed, no quorum, no problem. Yes, they will be making landfall here over the weekend in the Philippines. Widespread flooding. It's very well possible here, some landslides, and the Manila metro area. You will be seeing some heavy showers. The heaviest Saturday going into Sunday, like I showed you there a second ago, when that system is just north of Manila, and this would actually be by about Sunday morning. So some heavy rainfall coming out of this just in time for everybody wanting to get up for their Sunday morning mass out here. But if you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please post them down into the comment box below. Also, don't forget to go to the website,